Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, where we're helping you create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, along with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance, where we empower licensed professionals to effectively add insurance to their existing businesses.
And it is SHIT.
So happy it's Thursday.
Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Round 2 this time, because the first time apparently our live didn't have sound, and I don't know how that worked, but so we did a restart, and here we go. Round
here
number 2. So hopefully it's working. If not, let us know in the comments.
Again.
And we'll I don't know if it's a Facebook thing, then it's a Facebook thing. We're gonna keep going with this one.
I'll blame the coronavirus.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's always something to blame, right?
Yeah,
always something to blame.
Must be the coronavirus's fault.
All right, I got updates on that. We're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the world of the coronavirus. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about, the power of podcasting that's coming up. Is going to be on Monday, March 16th. I want you guys to go to businessbros.biz/pop webinar, POP webinar, power of podcasting. We're going to throw that in the comment section. I learned, I've been doing some research, learning from what other people are doing in the industry, how they could, help each other out, how we can grow. And I learned some stuff today from Mr. Pat Flynn.
Mr. Platt Flynn.
Right?
Pat
Flynn.
Flynn.
Yeah.
Platt Finn. Yeah.
Platt Flynn.
That's what I said. Yeah. Anyway.
Finn. Now I messed it up. Pat Flynn.
Pat Flynn. All right.
He's a local San Diego boy. He's got a really big podcast here.
What's his podcast called?
It's called Passive Income. Something.
Okay.
The Passive
Income podcast?
Something like that.
Something along those lines.
I forgot exactly what the name was, but it's a good
podcast.
Oh,
still no sounds, they say.
What?
I don't know.
Man.
Kill it.
I don't know what it is.
It is what it is. All right. Onward, upward. Pat Flynn.
So we're still going to post this. We're going to have audio. I promise you guys can hear us because we're recording the audio on our own stuff. So our video feed and the audio feed are going to work, but the Facebook, for whatever reason, did not work. So anyways, so I'm listening to Pat Flynn. He's talking about different strategies about helping your podcast grow. And I had this idea pop into my head because he was talking about hooks, right? And so anytime you put an ad out there, anytime you're telling a story, you always want to have some sort of hook that grabs the attention of your audience, right? And then you'll be able to tell a story. The story continues with the hook, closing story loops and going forward, that sort of stuff. And then, of course, you have your offer at the end, whatever it is that you're offering, whether it's, the end of the story or you want to promote, a call to action, whatever it is. So anyways, he was talking about hooks.
Hooks.
Right? Capturing the attention.
Hook. Give them the hook. Hook.
Total nerds.
All right, so he's talking about hooks. So catch their
attention, right? And so, and he was saying you should always have a hook at the beginning of your show because the beginning of your podcast, especially when a YouTube video, whatever it is, you got like the first 7 to 10 seconds to grab somebody's attention.
Right.
And I was like, dude, we don't really have hooks on our shows. Like it always starts off with the theme music, whatever. But like, how do we adjust that so that we can get more attention, more people listening to more of the podcast at the beginning?
On today's episode.
Right. And so I was thinking, what we should do is we record our stuff with the video feed, right? And then we cut the video feed and then you cut the Audacity feed, which is the audio only, right?
Right.
Now this will be something for the video. We could do it for the audio. It doesn't really matter. More for the audio because it's easy for me to cut a section of audio, throw it in the front, and we'll be done with it, right? But it could be video too. So anyways, I'm thinking at the end of the show, we close it out, whatever, on Facebook. But then we have the guest say, hey, my name is, Hernan Cias. I was just on the Business Bros podcast, and I want you guys to listen because my favorite part of today's episode was blah, blah, blah.
That's genius.
Right? And then,
is that what you asked me earlier?
That's what I asked you earlier. I'm like,
nice.
What do you think of that? And
that's genius.
And then that way, when I'm editing, because ladies and gentlemen, I do all the editing as far as the audio is concerned. The video, I don't spend much time because I would have to bring the video in and then export it out and then upload. It's more of a time consumption thing.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, we take that and we throw it at the beginning. And now we have that person saying, and if we wanted to, we can also take that little segment of video, right, and attach it and throw it up as a video. And
automatic
link it
content, dude, just like
link
that.
it to the YouTube video, the whole episode or whatever.
All right, so basically what you're telling me is once everything shuts down, once we close out the show and we say, all right, thanks so much, Facebook, we love you, blah,
you turn
blah,
off
blah.
Facebook.
Right, we turn off the Facebook, but we make sure that the
video
stays on, and we tell our guest,
Don't
don't leave yet.
Don't leave. Well, we just, it'll be in the show notes at the beginning, right? When we do the rundown at the beginning of the show, we'll just tell them at the end, after we have the conversation and after we talk, because at the beginning, I don't really know what we're going to talk about for the most part. I know what they do a little bit, and that's about it. I get to know them on the show. So there's exciting stuff that happened on the show that were exciting to them. So at the end, let's do that. Introduce yourself. Hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm with this or whatever company.
What's your favorite part?
And you guys need to listen to today's episode with the Business Bros because XYZ, whatever their most favorite part of the show was.
I love it.
And then that's it. We got that segment.
I love it.
And so, and I thought I'd share it with you guys because we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
When we learn things from other podcasters and other things that we do on the show, we're going to share it with you guys.
Absolutely ingenious. And that's probably something that you will talk about in Coach. And
absolutely.
Looking forward to that March 16th event, for real.
Dude, it's coming up. So make sure you
Is
guys
that
check
link
it out.
everywhere?
It should be. It hasn't been yet. I think I just finished it like last night. So
all right.
Power Up Podcasting. And it's funny because I came up with the Power of Podcasting, blah, blah, blah. And I realized Pat Flynn has a similar coaching program and he calls it Power Up Podcasting.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's a little bit, his is very much automated. You watch videos and all that stuff. The way we're going to do it is you're actually going to get me. So you're going to get coaching on a regular basis 3 times a week. We're going to be on a call. We're going to have different pieces of content that we're going to be talking about and then open up for Q&A to get your questions answered because that's really what it's about. It's about you getting you from point A to point B and make sure you're accountable every single day, that you're doing what you need to do. Even if you're not doing a show every day, you're prepping for it or you're editing or you're adding content, whatever it is that we're doing, acquiring guests or whatever it is that we're going to do, we're going to make sure that you have that access to the support that you need going forward, right? That's what it's all about. So, the power of podcasting, redefining the influencer. We're redefining the way people see you in the community, turning you into an expert. See you. Boom, boom.
See you.
Anyway. So,
I was thinking KUSI.
Dude, I do that every morning on Fridays.
Do you?
Yeah. It's Friday. I do that on Instagram in the morning.
That was good stuff.
And the breeze. Oh man, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways,
all right.
Speaking of,
I don't know.
I don't know actually. I
Me
don't know.
either.
But
Anyway,
speaking of
definitely retired.
Speaking of older, dude, I saw something that my students showed me that was totally dickish, like not cool, but kind of funny, but not cool at the same time. So. Internet's passing around this meme.
Okay, so what you're saying is that it's offensively funny.
It's offensively funny. Absolutely.
All right.
So, going around TikTok is this thing where they're changing the name of the coronavirus to Boomer Remover.
Oh.
Ouch, dude.
Dang. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean,
dude, offensively
the
funny.
older you are,
but that's
the more
that's
the
my
boomer
point of it.
Remover.
That's messed up.
Damn,
dude.
millennials.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Damn, millennials.
Dude,
harsh.
Right? It's harsh.
Harsh.
But it brings up the point that I wanted to talk about today when we were talking about coronavirus is, the wife actually sent over the link to the Joe Rogan interview where he's interviewing a guy from the CDC, and he gave a lot of very valuable facts and information about what's going on in the world, right? And so I learned a little bit more, get myself a little more educated on this thing now that it's becoming, I'm safe to say it's becoming a pandemic, right? The Major League Baseball just announced that they're postponing the start of the regular season. The NBA suspended their regular season.
Yep.
School districts are shutting down in Seattle for 6 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of things going on out there where people are afraid about the results of this whole coronavirus thing. And what I learned listening to that Joe Rogan interview is something about the incubation period. I didn't know what the incubation, I kind of get the idea based on the words, but how they describe it and what the difference is between having the incubation period of the coronavirus versus other diseases. So here's how they explained it. You can get the
Here
virus.
I am touching my face, by the way.
It's well, nothing you do about that. It's your face. So so here's the thing about the coronavirus is you can have the virus in your bloodstream or in your body where you're breathing it out and being able to be contagious for up to 4 to 6 days before you ever show any symptoms of being sick.
4 to 6 days.
4 to 6 days before you show any symptoms of being sick. So you can be contagious. You could be sharing it with other people around you and not even know you have it until 4 to 6 days later. That's what makes it very, very dangerous. Here's the other thing that's amazingly great and scary at the same time. Kids aren't getting sick. Young kids are not getting sick from the coronavirus, but they are spreading it.
Right.
So you can have kids like at a school, for example, spreading it amongst themselves and they're not getting sick at all. Maybe a little sniffle here and there.
But as soon as they go visit grandma,
that becomes an issue. Right. So the craziest thing he said was the worst case scenario he's seen it based on his models that he's worked on is that we can see up to like 480,000 deaths worldwide. And I mean, that's in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, but it's still a lot of people.
That's a lot.
And he was saying that this is more like, trying to stop the coronavirus is like trying to stop the wind. Like it's gonna run its course.
Right.
It's really one of the only ways that's gonna stop.
Eventually we're going to have vaccines, testing kits, all of that, in the places where they need to be. Because I think that's one of the big things that's slowing things down is we don't have enough of those
we don't have enough
resources.
Yeah, he was talking about we don't have anything stockpiled.
Yeah.
Things are not there. And I was talking to Melina actually today, and she feels that the reason why you see and they're encouraging things like shutdowns of major events, Coachella,
Disneyland shut down till the end of the month. That's crazy,
dude. The happiest place on earth. Mickey has passed away for a month. He's
crazy.
Yeah.
3 schools in Melina's area, you said, shut down for 6 weeks.
Seattle shut down for 6 weeks.
Sheesh.
So some of these, she was saying that she feels they're more like preemptive measures. In other words, if everybody gets sick at the same time, you're going to flood hospitals and stuff, and they're not going to be able to handle it. So if you close up sections like this of schools, you're slowing the infection speed. But it's still that everybody's going to get it. You know what I mean? You're either going to get it and you're going to become immune to this thing and you're going to be good, kind of like chickenpox. You get it, you're done, and it's over. At least that's what we hope. Or is it going to be something where you get it and now like you're fighting it for the rest of your life once it's there? We just don't know, right?
Wild.
But that kind of brings it into one of those perspective things. Like on the one hand, you want to go into a quarantine to protect the boomers, right? The older people, you want to make sure that you're protecting them, especially if they have any underlying conditions, right? This is one of those things where they were talking about the mortality rate increases dramatically over the age of 60. And even more so if you have other underlying conditions, asthma, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, like all these other things, they're adding to the potential of you being even more sick. So, what can you do to prevent yourself? I mean, yeah, wash your hands, but even that wasn't really that effective. Like they're like, that's great. They tell you that so that you feel like you have more control of things, but it's not really gonna do anything. This is more of an airborne, like you can be in the same room and it's a respiratory thing. So, washing your hands is great. It's helpful. It always helps a little bit, but it's nothing majorly preventative.
So yesterday you asked me about the stock market.
Yeah, it took another dive.
Took another big dive.
And see, man. And here's to me, this is one of those things where, okay, on the one side, you're trying to prevent the death of, people over the age of 60, right? That's first and foremost. The second, and this is what I was sharing with my kids. My kids, the last 2 days in class, we have one more section of credit cards that we're talking about credit cards, right? So it's statements and debts and all these different things,
compound interest, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So I showed this movie called Maxed Out, and it's about the 2008 credit crisis, right? What happened in the downturn then. And I'm explaining to them, I'm like, look, you guys need to pay attention to this because this market that I'm showing you on this video is a tanking economy at that time. Looks like we're entering the next downward cycle. Everybody wanted to know what the next downward cycle, what was the trigger to the next downward cycle? you might be seeing it right now.
Maybe.
And it's things like, if the Chinese have closed down certain sections, where do you think we get most of our products from?
Right.
That's where the manufacturing happens. People who have medication issues.
That's why the trade war is as big a deal as it is.
Right. But as long as there was production being done, as long as things were being made, we're fighting about price. Right. And that's but now you're losing production. Now it's not about price, it's about scarcity. Now you're in supply and demand. Right? Now the demand is increasing where the supply is decreasing.
$60 or $80 for a friggin' 24 pack of toilet paper.
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Yeah, because supply and demand.
Right.
Panic is one thing. Right? Panic is going to drive the shelves to go empty for like a week or two.
Yep.
And that's fine.
They were empty today. So I told you last week when I went shopping, they were fine. Everything was there. This week I went shopping and sure enough, everything's gone. Like I said, luckily I'm good for like a month.
Yeah.
But, when next month comes around and I'm on that last roll of toilet paper, man, I hope that there's some left.
Otherwise, you're going to be worried like, happy it's Thursday.
Oh, so happy it's Thursday. That's funny.
How to use it, dude?
Had to. No. But I mean, it's just crazy to see it. Could it be the economic turndown that everybody's expecting? I don't know. I had a friend reach out to me and was like, "Hey, now that everything's taken a dive, like what should we be buying? What stocks should I be buying?" I'm like, "Dude, pretty much anything."
Yeah.
Like
it's
at this point,
come back.
At this point, everything is taking a dip, right? So buy the dip, sell the news, right? Or buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah.
So right now it's the rumor. Right now it's the dip. Right now everything's falling and falling and falling and falling. How far is it going to go? I don't know. But it's going to come back.
And this is always, and when it comes to things like this is where everybody freaks out, right? Yeah. This is where the knife is falling, and do you want to catch a falling knife, right? Like that's the question here.
That's the term.
When everybody is on the upturn, we're like, okay, we're waiting for it to go down. We're waiting for it to go down. And that's one of those things where, a paralysis of analysis. You keep waiting. Okay, now it's on the downturn. So now what are you saying? Now you're starting to hear people be like, well, how far is it going to go down? Is it going to keep going down? Is it keep going down? Like right now, think about the emotions. And we've talked about this for so long. We said we're going to write a book on this. One of these days we got to.
However, comma?
Moobahs, yeah.
Oh,
however,
Moobah.
Comma, right? It's however, comma, but like the Moobah section.
The Moobah section.
We call it the Moobah because cows and sheep, right? Moos and bahs. These are herd mentalities.
Herd mentality.
Yeah, you got to check out Melina's podcast. She talks a lot about herd mentality. What is everybody doing right now?
Yep.
As everything is happening, as people are panicking, you're seeing the stock market drop. What are people doing? I'll
tell you what Warren Buffett's doing though.
What's he doing?
The opposite of everybody else.
He's not moobahing, right?
He's not moobahing.
And that's the whole point.
I mean, I don't know for sure that he's buying right this second, but I mean, he's watching the panic, and that's what I'm doing. Just watching it. And who knows? I don't know how far it's going to go, but there's going to be a week where there's a trend and it just starts to level out.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, okay.
This is where math is nice, right? If statistics, but it's more. I think it's more on the calculus side, right? So calculus, you're looking at a graph, right, and it's increasing. Is the acceleration of the increase decreasing? So this thing is decreasing, right? Is the rate of decreasing? Is the rate at which this fall is happening? Is it slowing down,
right,
or is it speeding up? Right, and that's kind of what it's the double derivative thing, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'm like about to pull up the charts and take a look,
and that's what you're kind of looking at as far as the stock market. But a lot of times, this is the emotional part, right? This is the panic. This is the what do I do? Do I buy? Do I sell? Well, you just bought a bunch of toilet paper. So what happened to your cash? You literally wiped your ass with it, right?
Damn.
But there's but that's kind of what's happening here, right? What are we gonna do as far as your finances? And when you're thinking about buying and investing in the stock market, is this for you to make a quick buck, or is this part of your investment strategy?
Ooh.
Right? Because this is a different time. If things are gonna shift, you need to stop taking an emotional approach and start taking a logical approach to these types of things. Start consulting with experts who are in the market, not people who talk about the market, people who are actually in the market. I'm not in the stock market very much. I have a very small stock portfolio, and it's mostly the kids' money that I call it the wedding fund or the or the quinceañera fund. I don't know whatever we call it.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money, so I'm not super vested in the market. I don't pay attention to it that much. I wouldn't be the best advice to go out and get for stock portfolios. However, I am telling you from an emotional standpoint, I'm not very emotionally driven when it comes to things like that. I keep a pretty level head. I'm not panicky. I'm not impulsive when it comes to stuff like that. I want to make sure that I do my research. And when I want to invest in something, I'm going to go talk to a professional in that space, and not necessarily a commissioned professional, somebody who's doing that thing, right? Doing that thing is much different than being around that thing. You want to talk to somebody who's actively trading, who's actively being in that market, who's also has a success record or a pattern of success doing that thing. So don't get emotionally driven. Yeah, do you want to buy some stuff? You know what? If you have some disposable income, now would be a fun time to get into it. But I promise you, if you buy right now and the market dips another 10%, you're going to freak out. If you're not mentally stable on this, understand that this is a long-term game. You don't try to go into this market and try to flip and make money the quickest way possible. Can you do it? Yes, you can. You can short things and you can do all kinds of different stuff in the market and make money. But
so check this out. SPY, which is the S&P 500 EFT, opened on January 2nd, 2019 at 245. Today, let me go over to December of 2020, and January 2nd of 2020, it was at 323.
Nice uptick.
Right? Huge uptick. Where do you think it's at today?
Back to 250.
Pretty close, 248.
Yeah, see?
All the way back to 2019 levels.
I'm just saying, dude, like, and those are specific downturns. And these, by the way, the S&Ps and the Dow, these are groups of
Here's my point, though.
Companies.
Is it took a year for it to get from 248 up to 323? Mm-hmm. Right?
Took
whatever.
Less than 3 months,
It took less than a month.
For it to drop.
All the way back down.
And look, when you look at these investments and these stocks, the other thing you got to look at is how long is this thing going to last? Right? You're looking at the coronavirus thing, but you're really, if it were me, I'd be looking at the production of these factories. These companies have to continue to produce product and revenue. I mean, they have overhead. We literally sat in our meeting on a small business level and said, look, we're going to have huge drops in the next couple months.
Right.
What do we do to survive this thing? Right? What do we do to make sure that we survive? And we're like this big compared to the world, markets. We're tiny. There's a lot of small businesses out there that are this tiny too. Real estate agents, are you showing houses? Is the seller comfortable with people walking through the house? Like that might be an issue for you.
It's true.
So you might have to do something else. Maybe you go masked up and you do a whole coronavirus walkthrough videos for your listings. I mean, you might have to get a little creative. You might, are you meeting in person? We're doing our presentation on Monday. I'm so glad it's not a person-to-person presentation. This is going to be a webinar-based one. Right? Schools are closing down. These kids can't just skip 6 weeks of school. You need to modify and adapt. Now you're going to have web-based platforms to make sure that you go out there and, teach the same things you're going to teach, but using a Zoom or whatever. Like, there's changes that have to happen.
Man, and then I think about this
for small business.
Those kids that are staying home for 6 weeks, who's watching them?
That's big, right?
Right? So people got to call in sick. People got to use their vacation days.
So I was listening to that Joe Rogan interview, and he was talking about, he's like, we got to not be impulsive about the things we do. If we shut down the schools and now we have kids at home, well, those medical professionals who were going to be at the hospital to tend to the people who are sick now can't go because they have their kids at home.
Right.
So you're taking away from a huge necessity. These people are you can't just like replace a nurse. There's years of school. You can't replace a doctor like just right off the whim, right? There's years of school that go into creating these people, right? They become doctors, they become nurses over a long period of time. If you take them out of the equation because the kids are home, that's a whole different ballgame. So like there has to be a strategy in play here for a lot of these things to go into motion. And like I said, dude, I we all wondered what the next thing to take us into a downward economy. It could be this. I mean, we're seeing the signs of the downward taking the stock market. And my biggest concern is imports.
Since we're talking about this, Mr. Mike Cuevas, the real estate marketing dude,
yeah,
right? Check this out. Here's some things to think about. People are going to be stuck on their phones for the next few weeks, which is going to mean a lot more potential for eyeballs. I'm planning on taking my ad spend up versus down and my content creation way up for this reason.
Exactly.
Smart, man.
But we talked about this
yesterday. That's why
he's
the real estate marketing dude.
This is why we talked about it yesterday. We said, look, you have to look at these different problems in two points of views. Is this a scarcity problem or is this an abundant problem? Mm-hmm. Like I said it on the show yesterday too. I was like, dude, if we get quarantined, guess what? You're going to see more of the business bros.
Yep.
Because I got nothing else to do. I got to put more content out there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you should be doing. That and I'm going to bring that up on the Power of Podcasting and be like, look, dude, like this is what people are going to see. They're on their phones every single day. Every time I'm going to post an episode and it says, ooh, update on coronavirus, guess what happens to that episode? Boop, 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 boop. It gets more increase, more views, more listens, more downloads, more watch, whatever you want to call it. Like, it is your ability to get out there and be in front of this thing and try to take advantage of a situation the way it is. Not take advantage of people, take advantage of the situation as it is.
Yeah.
Right? We talked a little bit
difference.
about we talked a little bit about this the other day about the whole capitalistic point of view. If somebody's dying and they're bleeding out or whatever and you're charging them millions of dollars or whatever to like save their life, that's ethically wrong.
Stupid Martin Scarelli or whatever his name was.
Yeah, ethically wrong. However, if you have a product that's in need, like if you have, for example, those face masks, right? And you've been stockpiling them for a long time, and now the market is in need of them. Go ahead and sell them at a marked up rate. Good for you. You should be, praised for that sort of stuff. Like those doomsday preppers, right?
Yeah.
Doomsday preppers are probably like, yes, I knew this day was coming. I heard Joe Rogan say that. I was like, that's so funny. It's so
for one
true.
reason or another, yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's true.
Are they, it's just that all of a sudden, you're crazy until you're not crazy, right?
Right.
You're crazy.
10 damn years I've been saying it.
10 damn years I've been saying it, right? And but it's here. It's
crazy until you're not.
You're crazy until you're not. Like you knew. I mean, we've said it a tons of times. Something's got to give. The population's too high. Things are going on. Mother Nature.
True. I mean, this isn't like the Black Plague. This isn't population control
that we know of yet.
True. Fair enough. But so far, 3% overall mortality rate. It might be a boomer remover. Right. But it's not like a worldwide killer.
Yeah. True.
That we know of. So, it is what it is. But but it is crazy to think like we could all just get quarantined. And like thinking of Italy, right? Like they've just shut down everything. The whole country shut down. Mm-hmm. The whole entire country is just like stop everything.
Here's another thing. We were talking at our meeting the other day, and we were talking to Jimmy, and he's like, "I'm going to Mexico." You see, there's not heat doesn't matter.
Heat doesn't matter. Because he was saying it won't survive when it's hot down there.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
it's not gonna stop it. If it's infection's there.
Oh, okay.
It's not a south of the border thing.
So basically, what you're saying is that they're actually taking it to Mexico.
They could. Yeah. Thanks. Don't travel.
Don't travel.
On a plane.
Stay home.
Stop spreading it. But I mean, that's
wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
Yeah, but that's the reality of it. It's we're about to go through it.
It's what amazes me more than anything is how actually big this is. Like, I'm seriously like, part of me just still wants to say it's just a flu. Like, chill out, people. Like, relax. But like, literally, countries are shutting down. Disneyland is shutting down. The market is tanking. Like, everything's falling apart from this coronavirus. And I'm still looking at it like, what's the big deal? Relax.
Yeah, well, Rosa had the best answer for that. It's not a big deal to someone in your family who dies.
That's true.
Right? But and it works the same way when we talk about recessions and depressions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a recession until I lose my job, then it's a depression. Right?
Fair point.
It's the way it works, dude. And that's the scariest part because we got grandparents.
Yeah.
We got aunts. We got uncles.
Being blown out of proportion until it hits, and then it's tragedy.
Exactly. That we need to worry about, in-laws, and there's a lot of people in our family that are not the healthiest, and makes them the more at risk.
It's true.
So, we're going to go through it, and it's going to get it. It's not going to be like the guy was saying on the Joe Rogan show. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Like this is literally like trying to stop the wind. It's hard because you don't know you have it for 5 or 6 days,
right?
4 to 5 or 6 days, and you're spreading it.
Yep. So I don't know if I'm going to karaoke tonight yet. Haven't quite decided.
I think if you look on our comments on the Facebook page, I think Jeff announced no fuck up nights on March 31st.
Been shut down.
It's been shut down. There's a lot of other things that have been shut down.
St. Patrick's Day in Ireland shut down.
Shut down. A lot of different things. We just for
NBA,
our sake,
NHL,
just for my own household's sake, I'm probably going to change all upcoming interviews.
Yeah,
to Zoom calls. Just to keep it all safe here. So, is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Keep yourself clean. Do what you can. The key component to this, to try to do whatever you can. If you are on any medications, stay on your medications. Those things are going to help you more than anything else. Vitamin up. Stay healthy. As far as, keeping your body up to date, continue to exercise, continue to do your things. The healthier you are, the better your chances are of pushing through this thing and surviving. And that's about it, man.
Saw Kate Ton post this. It's not about that it might kill you. It's that it might affect somebody and kill them.
Exactly.
So, be aware of that. It's not about us, right? It's about people who are more susceptible to it.
Save the boomers.
Save the boomers.
That's got to be a new campaign, I think.
Right?
Yeah. All right, ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys today. Be safe out there. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.